What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Today we're going to talk about Officer Tatum. Officer Tatum is the default coon for white supremacy. Full stop. Officer Tatum is one of those black guys that values white acceptance. He loves white acceptance. As if you look at his family, you can see who he values over his community. Officer Tatum is one of those light-skinned black dudes that was probably made fun of in school. I can see it in his face. He's not cool. Therefore, he was never a part of the cool club. Never part of the in crowd in the black community, right? If he even grew up with the black community. I highly doubt Tatum grew up with the black community, even though in the school he probably encountered black people who didn't see him as one of them per se, right? He's a square. Right? But to the white community where he probably grew up, or to the white community where he probably spent most of his time, maybe, I'm making assumptions here, he has been accepted. He values white validation over his community. And him being a police officer, he was in an environment where all white racists, especially being from Texas, all white racists like to join in order to have a badge to have power over black people. Right. And if you're a black person in law enforcement, you got two choices. You can either be unapologetically black and stand in your square, or you can capitulate to the greater white society to make them feel comfortable and to be accepted. In order for people like him to be accepted by white society, he has to participate in the degradation of his community to allow white people to say, see, that's one of the good ones. Tatum is not smart. He's not an intelligent man. He's a local police officer. Anybody can be a local police officer. You get more training going to be a cosmetologist than you do being a police officer, where he's from. I have more training than Tatum. I am more highly skilled in law enforcement, in counterterrorism, in the Department of Homeland. I am 1,000 times more skilled than Tatum. And I know more about society and how it operates than Tatum. Tatum is an idiot. Why is Tatum not a police officer right now? Why is he not rising up the ranks and becoming a captain or becoming, higher levels of service within the police department? Because he probably couldn't cut it. Or maybe he retired because he was done or he's scared. Tatum likes to pump his, I'm a police officer, and make them look like they're domestic warriors, because white people, when they join the police force, they see themselves as warriors. And a lot of these guys could never join the military. A lot of these guys were either afraid to join the military and be real warriors, but they were lucky enough to get in their little police departments, their little police forces. Tatum, from the eye test, looks to be one of those type of people, all right? Or sometimes people will come out of the military and go into law enforcement. I'm not quite sure which one he is, but most definitely he is a definite coon, all right? He's a super coon. And if you look at his family, you can see he values whiteness over blackness. That's why he says dumb things like black people commit the most crimes. Any intelligent person knows that's not the case. Like, that's legitimately just not true. And supposed peace officer, supposed professional law enforcement officer, he would know this. He should know this, but he doesn't because he's an idiot. And what he does, and what a lot of these guys do, these Charlie Kirks, these Candace Owens, what they do is they go have one-on-one debates with people who don't have enough basic foundational information within the field that they want to talk about with him, and it makes him look smart. But when he talks to somebody that's intelligent, his idiocracy is revealed. Every time Tatum has stepped up to the plate to talk to somebody that knows what they're talking about, the stupidity and the coonesian comes out of Tate. Tate is an embarrassment to the black community, but he does not care because Tate doesn't have any humility when it comes to the black community. He's the type of black person that's already said, I am willing to go against my community to be accepted by white people. And I will fight on behalf of white people. And the reason why they have people like Tate, his whole job and his grift is to make white people feel comfortable. You see, white people feel very guilty about how they operate in society. The particular white people that are his fan club, they feel guilty. And the thing is, when you feel guilty, What you want to do is you want to level the playing field and become a victim like the victims that you victimize. White people know they're the victimizers and they want to be victims so bad. So they need somebody to tell them that they are also victims so they can feel good, because they can't tell the world that they're victims. They need their victimizer. They need their victims to tell them that they are in fact also victims. They need people to say black people are racist. Even though an intelligent person, though, a black person cannot be racist, because we do not have the power to affect white people with our prejudice, because that's what racism is. Having the ability to affect people with your prejudice, because prejudice and tribalism is the same thing. It's just that it's because it is a different race. It's called racism instead of prejudice, instead of xenophobia, right? So Tatum's job is to make racist white people who are feeling guilty about the accomplishments of their ancestors, who feel guilty about how they victimize the community in order to build up their communities. His job is to make them feel like victims too, or say it's safe that they are victims too. And his job is to be the designated black friend for racists. That way, when a white person says something, they can just point at Tatum and say, you see, he said it, so I'm not racist. He's a validator. His whole job is to validate whiteness. That's what he does. Because in turn, he gets accepted as a proper Negro, as a good Negro. He gets to get the butter biscuits with the honey butter on top. While everybody else get the dry biscuits, he gets the good soft biscuits with the honey butter. And all he has to do is build on the fantasy that white people need to create, the bubble around their psyche that says that we are all equal because we are all victimized, and black people and white people are equal, and there's no inherent advantages that white people have over black people. White people absolutely positively need people like Tatum to make themselves feel good, because there's too many people like myself that will tell a white person exactly who they are when necessary. He is the anti-me. Tatum is the anti-me. You see, when I was in the military, right, I will tell a white person who needed to be told something, I will tell them the truth no matter what. And they can either process it and take it, or they can do something about it. 9 times out of 10, they would never try to do something about it because they already knew. All right? They knew I wasn't the one to try to do something about it with. All right? And I'm still not the one to try to do something about it with. So the countermeasure to an individual like myself is Tatum, who will pat a white man on the back, crack a Budweiser for them, and tell them that slavery wasn't that bad. Black people can be racist too. It's okay that we kill black boys because they're criminals anyway. And I'm your designated black friend. That's what Tatum is. And he gets paid money for it. There's lots of money in being a coon. And Tatum is a successful coon. I can look in Tatum's eyes and tell that he doesn't value his community, because in his mind, the community has never valued him. You see, he's suffering from being rejected when he was a child by black people. I guarantee you. I guarantee you, in his family, a majority of his family look at him as a family coon. I guarantee it. But it's okay, because Tatum has decided to improve the race, right, by creating more of them. He's going to breed himself into whiteness. All right. Just like there's a lot of white people breeding themselves into blackness, there are black people who want to breed themselves into whiteness and create offspring that will go in that direction. And he has done that. And that's the kind of person he is. But trust and believe, Tatum does not represent African Americans. He doesn't represent the sentiment of African Americans. He doesn't represent 90% of black police officers. 90% of black police officers understand the situation. He is not one who understands the situation. He is, in fact, a coon. I guarantee you, most of the black police officers he worked with viewed him as a coon and did not accept him. And because he's such a coon, it's off-putting to real black men. Therefore, I'm sure Tatum doesn't have many black friends. I'm sure all of his friends are white people who value the fact that they have that one black friend they can put their arm around and go to the barbecue because they don't have cookouts, right? And say, this is my black friend. So when I call you a nigger, I'm not really racist because my friend is black. That's his position. He is Uncle Ruckus that used to wear a uniform. Anyway, I'm just going to put some some clips up here of Tatum cooning, and you're gonna see that all his job is to do is to reinforce white supremacy. But mark my words, if he ever in his life decide to be who he is, a black man, if he ever says one positive thing, one good thing, if he ever supports any situation in which a black person is a victim, the white people that supposedly was his friend will remind him that he ain't nothing but a nigga. And best believe, all those white people that are his friends, when he's gone, they talk amongst themselves that, looks, this is a good nigga. I guarantee you, he will sit there and let them white boys use innuendos and underhanded jokes and racist jokes to him, and he will sit there and smile and laugh like a tap dancing nigga that he is. Anyway, without further ado, let's look at this coon-ass, default, weak-ass freaking example of a black man, Tatum, the police officer. Peace.
It's out of control. Where have we gone? What happened to Martin Luther King? Everybody yelling MLK. They celebrating MLK Day, his birthday. All of the above, but you're not practicing not one principle that MLK stood on. He stood for identifying or associating a person's character, not the color of their skin. A man who had experienced racism and prejudice in America, he stood on character, the content of their character, not the color. Even in the face of adversity, even in the face of prejudice and racism, he understood that it's still not about the color, it's about the content. And you, Brandon, why do you say, and why was Martin Luther King correct about this? It's very simple. Even during that period of time, there were white people who helped him, who supported him, who stood up in the civil rights movement for black folks. So it's not about color. And this young girl in this multicultural center is called multicultural, not multiracial. It's about culture. There is a college culture. There is what we consider to be a culture of successful people. And then there's a culture of failures that comes in every color, every shape, every size. Anybody of any race can be successful in the United States of America. But the culture, depending on what cultural ideology you fall in, you will mess around and be a nobody. You'll mess around and be doing what this girl is doing. Racist, evil, hateful, prejudice. This is what this black girl represented. And I want to see, and I said this earlier in the video, she should be expelled from school, never to return to that university. And the kids there should be advocating, protesting, petitioning for her to be removed. And every other student who have that same mentality of being racist, they should be removed from the school. If this were a white kid, same thing. If this were a white kid, the same thing should happen. If this was a pink kid, the same thing should happen. If this is unacceptable in the United States of America, period. I don't care what nobody say. I want to know what you think about it. Let me know in the comment section. Am I tripping, or is this one of the most racist expressions on college campus that I have seen, that you have seen? You let me know right in the comment section. Anyway, I'm done with this. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notification anytime B Tatum go live. Make sure you visit the Austin Tatum store where you get all the cool merch. You should probably get this shirt. White privilege, false ideology.
Black people,
it's bizarre to me.
Black people are far more racist than white people are. I know people don't like to hear me say that, but white people do not spend their days thinking about black people.
No.
And even if white people were to have an opinion about their daughter or somebody dating a black guy, they would not dare open their mouth to say anything about it.
No.
Black people don't hold back at all. In the comment section, you Uncle Tom, Ruckus, Coon sellout, you dating a white woman, bunny hopping. They saying all kinds of stuff with no recourse. And the ability to say that as a victim class, when you become a victim class, you can say whatever you want because you're the oppressor. You're being occupied.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
they have the ability to say those things and it encourages more racial tension and racism.
Privilege. I call white privilege a myth. There's nothing that white people can do to stop black people from succeeding in America today. There's no law, there's no legislation, there's no hierarchy. There's nothing that can stop black people from being just as successful as anybody else in America today.
So,
do you believe that or not?
So, I mean, there's nothing officially on the books that says you're...
No, unofficially.
So let me finish. So there's nothing on the books that officially says you're black, you can't do this. What we're existing in today is after generations of systems that excluded black people specifically from access to economics, from infrastructure, from education. Now we're existing, we're born after generations of that, where people now have access to that and they can mete out who gets it. So we see in all the statistics, black people have access to the lowest numbers of economics. They have the lowest education funding. They have the lowest access to venture capitalists. This doesn't just happen out of nowhere. This happens after generations of literal laws that were met. It was collusion between private businesses and the government to specifically exclude black people from opportunity. We know this in redlining, we know this in gerrymandering, we know this in Jim Crow laws. I mean, we just barely got to actual, I mean, we're still fighting over whether or not we have a proper representation in corporate demographics. I mean, we have DEI and all this, but still look at corporate demographics. It's still white men, vastly the majority of it. Do you think that's because of ability? No.
Yeah,
it's
no,
because,
I think
let me finish.
Okay.
It's because of generations of access that were excluded from a certain community and given to a certain community.
So right now,
let me finish.
No.
So now we see in 2025. Look at this. Look
point.
at the statistics. Do you think it's a coincidence that the communities that were systematically excluded from these things, again, collusion from private businesses and governments for generations, hundreds of years, we're what, 50, 60 years out of this now. Do you think it's a coincidence that these communities have poor outcomes versus these communities that were given this access?
All right, look, there's no need to even insinuate that there's coincidence at all, because there's actual actionable things that you can see that cause communities to fail. And we know that a lot of it, you gerrymandering and all of the stuff. You could say, what about the two-parent homes? We had more success. Black people had more growth and success after slavery at an accelerated rate that at this point we would have been growing faster than white people. But at some point, we bought into the propaganda of not pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps, not marrying the women that we have children with, not exploring economic success and having a community of growth and money circulation, and we divvied all that away. And I believe the civil rights movement, and now we're in a desolate place, still hoping and praying that politicians are going to rescue us, and they never will. Black people today, if you go and get an education.
I think it's absolutely asinine to suggest that Donald Trump is trying to erase black history. That's the craziest thing ever. D.L. Hughley don't have any evidence whatsoever to make a claim like that, other than having Trump derangement syndrome. Donald Trump in his first term, he gave permanent funding to HBCUs. Donald Trump literally had every HBCU president in the Oval Office talking to them about things that they can do to improve black universities. Donald Trump, operations zones, I mean, you can go down.
Bro, Donald Trump has been an advocate for improving black education for a while. Even when him and Ice Cube were discussing the platinum plan and all that good stuff, bro, if you're a real one, you understand that. I ain't gonna lie. This man Trump has honestly been kind of speaking out for the black man for a minute, especially when on the education economic side. Opportunity zones and all that good stuff. Like, yeah, bro's been looking out more than the Democrats have. And honestly, that's what irritates me, because I'm just like, hold on. We're talking about a group of people that say they have our best interest at hand, but when they get in office, they don't do shit for us. Like from Obama to Biden. Like, bruh.
And here's something else you should research. Whites are more likely to commit crimes against children. Whites are more likely to commit crimes against co-workers. Whites are more likely to commit crimes against individuals who are inside of their families. Now, that is also from FBI.gov, but are you using that as a pretext? Are you using that as a pretext to follow all white people and think that they are child molesters or about to commit a crime against
You're
the
trying to, the FBI statistics are on conviction rates. The FBI homicide statistics.
No, it is not, brother. You need to read damn
people
stats.
can go
the
out and
FBI
do the
stats
research.
Are not based on conviction rates,
People
brother.
can go out and do the research for themselves.
They sure
the
can.
research that I've seen,
not being
the homicide rates, you could call it the murder or homicide rates, depending on how you want to frame it, are convictions. So over half.
How many members of the Black Lives Matter organization have been arrested for terrorism? How many have been arrested, sir? You are a former police officer. You deal in data and statistics. If you're telling me that they've been engaged in acts of terrorism across the country, but none of them have been arrested, that means that your boys in blue have not been doing their jobs. That's what that means. But my question is the same. How many have been arrested? How many have been arrested, brother?
It's federal prosecutors who are the ones.
No, sir, these are city crimes. These aren't even federal. Federal government can't arrest you for vandalizing a building. You don't have one person who's a member of Black Lives Matter who has been arrested, charged, and or convicted for vandalism, violence, or murder.
No. Yes, you have. You have had many members of the Black Lives Matter.
All right, let me take you back to elementary school. You have already admitted this is not normative behavior. You've never done it. Your colleagues have never done it.
I said that I've never done it. I don't know any person that done something specific like that. But clearly, there's articulable reasons why he did the shooting in the way in which he did it. Because they charged him.
What the hell are you talking about, brother?
On a federal level, they're going to draw from fears. And I guarantee you he's not going to get charged.
Well, sir, he's already charged.
He identified the target in the doorway. He moved his position to the window, which he knew in a general area where he was shooting at.
Brother,
and he was found not guilty.
The target was drugs and money.
No, it wasn't.
Did you know that? Sir, in the warrant they signed, the target was drugs and money, which, by the way, they found zero.
Well, you see, this is why people like me are doing what I do. Breonna Taylor was the original target.
These black conservatives do not mind selling out at all. So remember the video of the Texas players being told by Alabama fans to go back to the projects and then calling them expletives for gay people. Well, one black conservative, Officer Tatum, his take was that it was the players' fault because they were dancing around and acting out, so the fans were just giving it back to him. Well, even his most loyal followers were calling him out on it. So he decided to post a story to kind of clear all that up. And it was worse. Check it out.
So I'm sitting in my car right outside the radio station out here in San Diego. And I gotta make a video now. I was gonna make a video for my YouTube channel, but now I have to respond. People are criticizing me for my take on the Alabama fans yelling at the Texas players.
For yelling racist and homophobic slurs at the players. And people are criticizing you because your take was horrible.
You know, I just can't stand people with their victim mentality.
Calling out racism is not a victim mentality. That is the racist right-wing talking point to try and keep us from calling out racism.
Are these kids racist? Probably not.
Wrong. They definitely are.
It's called talking trash. They want to say anything they can to offend the players on the field.
So as long as they qualify it as talking trash, anything goes. They can say anything they want. It's just talking trash. Come on, dude. You cannot be this ignorant.
Now put this in consideration. How are they fans of the Alabama football team when every player on the Alabama football team is black? Nearly every player. And you telling me the fans of the Alabama football team are racist when they supporting a team full of black people?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're telling you. Dude, this is literally the I have a black friend argument. Just like Republicans expect you to stay your ass in place, those fans expect those black athletes to stay in place. And the second they don't feel like they do, they show their ass. Just like the people in your comments do when you step out of place.
It's called banter, ladies and gentlemen.
Get this man a hat, a cane, and blackface and call it a day because there ain't nobody tap dancing like him. Period.
Been through it, and then when he shot her, he used deadly force against her.
You do know that his knowledge of the mental health crisis is going to be front and center in the prosecution.
That doesn't preclude him from defending himself.
Just give me a moment. What it does is it sets a parameter of protocols that must be followed in order to protect life. And
but it also justifies.
If you decide to not follow those protocols, you have willfully engaged.
No, but it also
in the violation of those protocols.
It also lends to the fact of her being very unstable and making that furtive action without any kind of signs or anything before that. So
that's not
true. That is because
true.
Of, she
had a
when he said she was crazy. No. When he said she was crazy, that sound bad for him to say it, but it was true because she may have been going through a psychotic episode, and
but see,
I don't
brother,
know what
that's the point.
They're going to make that point in the court of law.
That's crazy. Brother, that's not crazy, brother.
For somebody to be talking normal and you engaging in a normal conversation.
You don't talk normal. The hell you talking about? Tatum, you're crazy, Tatum. She was sick. She was going through a mental health crisis. She needed a doctor, brother.
Which is
you
fine.
Are crazy. You sound crazy. You always do.
No,
all right, brother. Let me go. I said I wasn't going to do this. I said I wasn't going to do this.
Let's have a real conversation. Let's have a real conversation.
Negro, you said that you would defend the cop killing your mama. I should have kicked y'all.
I didn't say nothing about defending a cop killing my mama. I said it's a self-defense argument that he has a self-defense argument in the court of law. That's not defending somebody who can. You're getting emotional and taking it personal.
Damn right,
I don't
brother.
know either one of these people. I'm just telling you what the law says.
No, you're wrong
we'll
about
see
the
when
law.
it goes to trial.
You're wrong about premeditation. You're wrong about the law. All right, so.
Wait. Before you go, for all my subscribers and philanthropists out there, I'm building a solar power community water bowl system in Nigeria. It's going to cost between $5,000 and $6,000. I'm trying to raise money. If you want to participate and help me build this solar power water system, please donate to the Cash App and put solar water in the notes. Solar water in the notes. I'll put PayPal, Stripe, and Zelle. Anyway, thank you. That's all I got to say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out. Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.